Hello everybody. So I know here recently we've been talking about frequency a whole lot on this channel, but there's a purpose for that, people. And the biggest purpose to get you to understand that everything around you is emitting a frequency. From the television to the nature sounds outside of your home to vehicles passing your house. They all emit a frequency, and all of those frequencies are helping to create the mood that you currently have found yourself in. But I think the most important thing for people to realize is that when animals go to be slaughtered, if that situation that they're in is very high stress, and say that you brought them to a slaughterhouse, you didn't slaughter them at home, and they are scared, they're going to produce something called cortisol, and that is going to flood the meat. Now, you go to the grocery store to buy cheap meat because that's what Americans have gotten used to. You get your cheap meat, just understand this, even if it says hormone and antibiotic free, you will never see it say cortisol free. You will never see it say stress level free. And so in actuality, the meat you just purchased from the grocery store is flooded with toxins from how afraid that animal was at the end of its life. So CAFO systems, which is basically consolidated animal feedlots, are literally the worst thing that has ever happened to American meat. And 90% of the meat that you have eaten in your life has come from a CAFO system. Tyson, Smithfield, and numerous other beef, pork, chicken, and turkey meat products have come from CAFO systems. Again, that is consolidated animal feedlots. So CAFO systems came in existence as people left rural areas and flooded into cities. They wanted cheap meat because, see, they weren't used to paying for meat. They were used to raising their own beef, their own turkey, their own chicken, and their own pork. Now they've left that behind, but they still want meat like they were accustomed to from living in the rural areas where they were raised. So corporations came up with something called a CAFO system, where they consolidate all these animals into these itty bitty areas where there's no grass, there's no shade, there's not adequate water or even proper air. And all these hundreds and hundreds of animals are in this itty bitty spot, sick, standing in their own crap, eating their own crap, walking on each other. You can catch the drift of where I'm going with that. They all started getting sick. So that's where you came, where a lot of antibiotic and vaccines started being used on the animals that give you your meat. And it's funny because CAFO systems have been big for about 50 years, yet there's only 30 scientific studies discussing how CAFO systems are affecting the environment around where they are. Now you might be saying, Sam, what do you mean affecting the environment around where they are? Well, when you put 10,000 head of cattle on 10 acres, folks, you get a lot of manure. See, when cattle were raised in rotational grazing or on farmsteads and homesteads, their manure is put back into the garden to grow the next crop. But when you've got them in a CAFO system, what do you do with 10,000 piles of crap a day? Well, a lot of it was finding its way into your water sources and air pollution, and even a product called black cow manure. Now, the reason I brought this up, because I really want you to understand that frequencies affect you in every situation in your life, from the music to the meat that you eat. So I want you to learn to keep your frequency high. Now you might ask me, how in the world am I going to keep my frequency high, Sam? We live in a stressful world. First thing you're going to do, folks, is you're going to smile. Just smile and smile again. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to get away from people that always find a problem for the solution, okay? You know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You just pictured somebody. Right then, your brain, a face flashed, and you thought, oh, she's right. I got to get away from that person because that person is bad for me and they make me feel bad about myself. Hold on one second. Sammy, get out of them woods. Come on. Now, in the new book that I just finished writing, you guys, we're going to talk to you about all of this in that book. So we're going to need you guys to help us get this book published, okay? So it's written It goes to the publisher, but they are going to charge me the small sum of a little under $7,000 to advertise it. So if you'd like to be one of the few people we're offering to put a dedication to a loved one in the book for $500, we're taking 20 people for that. But if you just want to donate $1 to help us get this book published, we would greatly appreciate you. So now that you know who that person is, you're going to cut them out of your life, correct? Correct. Thank you. Second thing you're going to do, you are going to learn the art of not worrying. And I mean that. I really do mean that. You're going to start listening to music that lifts you up and doesn't leave you with a box of tissues hiding in your bathroom with the water running so your kids don't hear you squalling your eyes out. Yep. You're also going to start being thankful for any and everything in your life, folks. Now, I want you to watch this video and I want you to enjoy it. Then I want you to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video so we can educate somebody else about frequencies.
You feel like everyone has an energy field?
I mean, we know scientifically proven everyone has an energy field. Now, what I learned when I took classes at MIT for applied neuroscience, let's say we're in the room together, right? Let's say you're stressed out and your cortisol levels are spiking. That hormone is leaving out of your body, some of it, on your electromagnetic field and winding and interacting with my field, and your cortisol is coming into my body. So your anxiety, your anger, your frustration could literally directly affect me by your hormones literally going down my field into my body and raising my levels. But if you're in a high frequency, high vibration, the opposite can happen. And those hormones can come into my body and raise my vibration. So, when you say, when that person walks in a room, it just lights up, that's actually a true statement. You can walk into a room and you can take somebody who's low and bring them to a higher level.
Yeah, it really makes you think about who you want to surround yourself with. I used to surround myself with low vibration people, and I was broke, to be honest.
You got to stay away from people that have a problem for every solution.
I love that.
The first Matrix movie, where Morpheus holds up a battery and says, the Matrix is a computer-generated dream world designed to turn humans into one of these, a battery. That is a profound statement in an apparently fictional movie.
Well, we saw the kids version in Monsters, Inc. as well.
That was another one. You had the monster world, where the key monster was a green entity with one single massive eye. I mean,
The dollar bill.
what happened is that in the monster world, they had no source of energy. And so in the power station, every day, the monster employees would turn up and they stand in line. And then these doors would come, and when they walked through the door, they walked into a child's bedroom. And their job was to terrify the child, so the child screamed. They caught the scream in a tube and went back to the monster world to power the monster world. It was very symbolic of how this works. They are telling you without telling you, if you know what I mean.
They only have power because you give it to them. And the way we give the power to them is through low vibrational emotions. And that's why they want you stuck in a job. That's why they want you doing all these low vibrational things, masturbating, consuming, because that's how their empire keeps receiving energy. The minute you stop associating with these lower vibrations and you raise your vibration, the system will collapse, and it's going to happen.
That's a word.
There's a really cool, a little bitty experiment they did showing the vibration frequency in real physical world when people touch. And if you want to be one of those people that want to argue with me that food and the toxins found in the environment are the #1 reason that America is seeing so many children with disabilities, well, you're going to argue to a wall, folks, because I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not the only one. Kennedy Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he says the same thing.
This generation of kids, we saw this explosion of neurodevelopmental disorders. So ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, sleep disorders, Tourette syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, autism, all these diseases that prior to 1989, we never heard of them.
Right.
We didn't know anybody who had them. And then all the autoimmune diseases suddenly exploded that year. The juvenile diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, these exotic diseases like Crohn's disease and lupus. Suddenly everybody, all these kids got these, are sick. And the allergic diseases suddenly appeared. Again in 1989, or in that area, early 90s, peanut allergies. I had 11 siblings, 70 cousins. I didn't know anybody with a food allergy. Why do 5 of my kids have these anaphylactic allergies? Why are there EpiPens in every classroom? Why are there albuterol inhalers? Or, asthma exploded. I had a brother who had asthma, and his doctor told him there will never be a cure for this disease because it's so rare that no research will ever study it. Well, now 1 out of every 8 black kids has asthma. So what happened? Something happened. There's no other country that has this. We have the highest chronic disease burden in the world. Why are we so sick? And why is nobody looking at that and saying, we know that it's an environmental toxin? Genes don't cause
So
epidemic.
like, comment, subscribe, share this video. It's time that we educate people. And please send your $1 so we can publish the book. Love you guys.